Good morning. Good morning, good morning. I'm not sure if I'm live or not, if anybody can hear me. It's not showing live on the Discord channel for some reason. But we'll see.
HSTO, Histogen, shares off the highs at $1.10 now. Company announced positive results from its phase 1 study of its treatment for mild symptomatic COVID-19 patients. That's HSTO. Hotel Sandy Tango Oscar.
I can barely understand that guy sometimes. 41 million share float. Nothing's holding up today, so nothing really excites me at the moment. Everything is kind of junky looking, nothing really moving. I think it's a conspiracy theory today. Let's look at AMC, see what that's doing. Still hanging out down here. I mean, if you're going to buy it, this would be the area to do it. Yesterday it sold off all day. Let's look at the 20-day. We do got a wedge pattern forming on it. But with AMC, I mean, that really doesn't mean anything. Yeah, just like yesterday, we're breaking out to the downside on AMC. Now on VTVT, they have good news, but I mean, it just keeps falling apart. I got one trade on it, $3.70.
BIOC, Biocept, Bravo India, Oscar Charlie. Biocept to collaborate with Quest Diagnostics to provide advanced NGS-based liquid biopsy testing for patients with lung cancer. That's Bravo India, Oscar Charlie, BIOC. Shares hitting $5.29 at the high of $1.29.
See, I don't get in on these. A lot of times they'll pop and then they'll just keep pulling back.
And DGX, Delta Golf X-Ray, Bravo India, Oscar Charlie.
The bid spread is still a little bit
Biocept now 574 at the high, BIOC.
Let's look at the 20-day chart. We are way oversold right now. You never want to be the first one to get in on these ticker symbols when they pop like this. I mean, VTVT, perfect example. It popped and then it pulled back here for a few minutes, and then we had a decent little run up. This one's doing a little bit different. Did a second line pop, but again, you want to give it time to do what it's going to do. Kind of like the opening bell. I mean, this one here was a nice solid candle with a very tiny wick, which is a good sign. But the markets that we're in right now, they really are just terrible. I mean, unprecedented times that we're in these markets. Nothing's holding up. You know, this stuff right here, back to the conspiracy theory, you know, these will pop up when you get here. Notice how when he called it out, this thing was already all the way up here. It already moved $1.50. How does that happen before he even calls the news out? Unless somebody got the news before we did. So this is almost identical to what VTVT did. Almost identical. Popped up, then pulled back. So we'll wait for a nice pullback on it. I'm going to stay on the 1 minute chart for you guys. So now we got the little pullback. I want to see it come down a little more. I mean, we've been in a shorter's paradise for, man, I can't even tell you how long. It has been ridiculous. Getting in a trade nowadays, you got your heartbeat going on. Alright, so it was pullback cooling off. Let's see. Nope, not yet. And this is a small account, guys, for those of you who are new here to the channel. I hear an echoing in the microphone. I thought I fixed it yesterday. Apparently it didn't work. It did for a little while. I'll get that taken care of today, but I wanted to go live here. So now you see we're getting wicks at the bottom, showing, you know, support from buyers wanting to buy into this. I'm going to grab 5 shares right there. Looks like we're going to get a little bit of a pop up here. I don't think it would be much. We may even pull back down a little bit more. But again, you know, you look at something like VTVT did the same thing. We popped up and then pulled back, and then we made a nice little run. Now let's see if we can catch this run up. Tiny little run. Get the pen up. So I would be looking for this. Now that we did this, I'd be looking for at least something like this. We don't have a bottom yet, but right out of the gates like this, you're not really going to get a double bottom right away. You got to wait for the stocks to kind of do their thing and mellow out, and that's when you'll start finding your support and resistance. So, you know, we got in right in this area. And again, we're looking for a retracement, something like this. And again, the VTVT was cancer news as well. But as of now, it's just falling apart also. But imagine you chase this stock and you got in all the way up here, even with 5 shares. I mean, 630, now we're down at 520. You would have been down $5 already. Just with 5 shares, I mean, we're down 55 cents, but these stocks will do this. So calling the bottom on these fresh out of the gate. We do have our roof, the right side of the roof right here playing out. So we'd be waiting for a little breakout or a peek out of here for a chimney, and then see some smoke. Notice the candles are getting smaller, the wicks are getting longer, so I'm going to add, well, I'm not going to add 5 shares to it. I don't have confidence in this one. I don't think it's going to be like an all-day runner. But we should easily get a couple of cents out of it. Now we're starting to get that nice curve to the upside. Again, we have big wicks on the bottom showing support from buyers. This is why you always want to wait. Never get in on the first candle. Never get in on the second candle. Just wait. Let it do what it's going to do when you're trading. All right, you never want the news to come out and you jump right into a ticker symbol. Again, if you took 1,000 share size up here, you'd be down over $1,000 right now. This is why we never buy in here. We bought in right here. So once we cross this line, we should be in the green. Once we cross this line. And now we have 2 wicks on the bottom for a double bottom. So this candle would have been a better entry. But just looking at what VTVT did this morning, I got in a little early, and now it's still going down. But, excuse me, I'm super tired. The overall markets are just, nothing's holding up. Again, VTVT, we kind of did the same thing here with VTVT. I didn't get in on the first or the second. I bought this dip here just like we did on the other one. This one went up. I think I sold right in this area for $3.70. Let me change something. So I wanted to talk yesterday. I posted about AEI and where Ross lost money on it yesterday. We got into this yesterday, and I wanted to go over it with you guys so you guys can really get an understanding of this. You know, your first run nowadays is going to be your initial run up. That's going to be your best bet. Yesterday I bought in right around here, and then I thought, you know, with this news, like Ross said, you know, we're just not seeing the follow through, and I really like the way he explained that, because traders like us, you know, we've been doing this so long, we're used to seeing this, you know, especially with news related to Tesla. I mean, that really set the tone for me for the next couple of months. I know we've been in bad markets, you know, we've been talking about it, but, you know, what I wanted to show you guys and talk about was, you know, why are we buying up here? I just don't understand the method behind that madness. Like, I don't know why anybody would buy near the tops when we're just not seeing, we haven't seen follow through since GameStop. And I've been saying that since day one, you know, and this is why I changed the way that I traded for this small account, and why I spent so much time doing this was to help you guys in these bad markets, because once we're out of these bad markets, the knowledge that you guys are going to get here, you should have no problem being consistently profitable traders in the good markets. But you're looking for the bad markets here on your RSI, for the RSI to be making a higher high when your price action is staying the same, right? This is where you should have entered. You could have took this from 640 up to 710 and change, right? And how do you know where it's going to end? Well, honestly, you really don't, but your RSI and your price action is going to tell you where you should be getting out. Notice here your RSI made a lower high and your price action made a higher high. Just like here, your RSI made a higher high and your price action stayed the same. But not only that, now we have an area of support and we have an area of resistance. I will not take a trade on any kind of ticker symbol until we find an area of support and we get a bounce. Here on this one, we found an area of support, but we didn't bounce. We came to the downside. So then, as we got here in this area, I waited for the bounce. The bounce held. The RSI divergence showed me an uptrend. I took another trade on this right here. My initial trade that I should have sold here, I didn't sell. Then the RSI told me I should have sold, but again, my mindset is the good markets, just like Ross was saying yesterday. A lot of us, traders, we're just stuck in that area, like we're like, man, this news is killer. If you look back on this ticker symbol, like I told you guys yesterday, if you go back to the 180 day, I mean, this ran for several days. It's not a one and done like we typically see.
LH, LabCorp.
So typically you'll just see a one big candle here, and then the rest of the day it falls apart. That's called a one and done.
Surveillance, Lima Hotel.
But this one trekked up for several days, so I saw that with the news, and I'm like, yeah, I'm staying in this one. Well, after we got to the bell, or not to the bell, but as we were coming into the bell, I'm like, you know what? We haven't seen an uptrend since 8:30. We're just continuing down. So I started looking to exit, and I think I exited right here with about 75%. Then after the bell, I sold the rest.
DUK, Duke Energy begins construction of largest solar plant in Surrey County, North Carolina.
Then I bought back in here,
DUK.
And I sold. I think I sold on this candle here or this one. I wasn't going to wait for the RSI. I mean, we already came to resistance. And then I took one more trade on it, which was... Took one more trade on it right here. Right in this area right here. We had a downtrend here and an uptrend here on the RSI. Now the RSI stayed under the 50. I have mine set at 50. It stayed under the 50 through here. So I was very cautious in here, and I closed out some of it
Charlie
right
Oscar,
here.
Romeo Tango,
I closed out a little bit
CRT.
more on this part. Let me lower his voice.
Preliminary results from Reliant trial of Relacoritant plus NAB paclitaxel in patients with metastatic pancreatic cancer. That's CORT. CYRX, Charlie Yankee Romeo X-ray. Selenco selects Cryoport to support on-demand flexible COVID-19
All right,
therapy
yeah. So back to
shipments
AEI.
to patients
So
in
this is
need.
what
That's
this is what you have to
CYRX.
do in these markets. You have to be trading off the bottom, using your RSI as confirmation. You're looking for divergence. You never want to buy up here. When I watched where he bought in, I was just shocked. I'm like, even if you made an ascending line, you want to take your trades here. According to the rules, we never want to trade under the 200, right? Or under the 20.
BKTI, Bravo Kilo Tango India.
I told you guys how you can trade under the 20 by using the RSI as confirmation. All right? Although he's trading above the 20, he's waiting to get above the VWAP. I mean, I haven't seen any ticker symbol lately really hold above the VWAP in these markets. I mean, they're just choppy. Choppy, choppy, choppy. We're not seeing what we used to see. And like I've been telling you guys for months now, you have to adapt. If you're not willing to adapt to these markets, you're just not going to make it in them. But, to be a buyer up here, I would question, what are you doing, And I mean, the guy obviously makes money. I get that, he's a good trader overall, but he's not adapting right now, and I think I feel for him. It took me a couple weeks to figure all this out, but I'll tell you, even on my own personal trading account, what I've learned in these last 4 months from attacking things, and like I told you guys since day one, I don't give up. I'll spend 24 hours a day staring at these charts until I see something that I've never seen before. I won't stop till I figure it out. So, spending, the last couple of months looking through the charts, chart after chart after chart after chart, your best entries, what I learned, is down here with the RSI. Sometimes the RSI will not confirm it, but your TTM squeeze will. Notice a downtrend on your price action and your uptrend on your TTM squeeze. Sometimes the RSI won't confirm it. It did in this area, but sometimes it won't. Sometimes you'll want to look at your TTM squeeze. So, hope that helps you guys. Again, I've told you guys since day one, you never want to be a buyer at the top of anything. How do you know where the top is? You got to have your support and resistance, right? If this is channeling around in here, Why would you buy something, in this area? And I understand why he did and why he does do that, because like you said, being older traders, we're used to certain conditions in the market. We're used to certain things working out. But again, since AMC, I told you guys the first week, I said something ain't right, and I started digging my heels into finding out and figuring out how we can be profitable in these times that are not so good. I even think they switched up the algorithms on us. They're not going to sit there and just let things be consistently doing the same things, because the more traders that would learn it, the more money they're going to make, and that's not how casinos work. So they're constantly updating and upgrading, and they'll switch back and forth from this to that, and that's how they trap people. That's how they make money, and that's how people fall for things like this. So your mind has to be evolving just as quickly as the markets are evolving, or you're going to get stopped out, left behind, lose your money, and that's exactly what they want. So you just got to be on top of things. You got to be able to sense changes. I told you guys before, the markets are like my car. I could feel any little rattle that other people wouldn't notice. I could feel a little vibration that other people wouldn't feel. And that's just how I am with the markets. I've been in them so long. I've been doing it so long. You guys literally have no idea how much time I put into the markets and figuring things out, and things I got passed down from my grandfather and stuff like that. But you're going to get out of the markets what you put into the markets. And like I said before, the pattern day trade rule keeps people, losing money. 3 trades a week, people aren't going to sit here all day if they can't trade. They're not going to learn anything. So like I said, I personally believe with $1,000 account, cash account, if you have several $1,000s to trade, is to just take one share 100 times a day of different stocks, right? Take one share until you learn. If you took one share right here and you lost, and you don't want to know why you lost, you're never going to become a profitable trader. You have to want to know the whys. Why did I lose? Why did the stock go down? Why does every time I get in do I lose money? And there's so many different reasons for so many different traders. But the people that are here with us are learning, and I'm trying to teach you guys the best that I can how to become profitable traders. But the biggest drawback of me teaching, especially experienced traders, is that they think the markets have to be complicated. That's why a lot of rich people don't succeed in the markets. They overthink things, and when things don't go their way, they're out. They never come back. I find that the people that are going to make it in these markets are the people that have nothing to lose. They don't have a mindset of a billionaire, or, they're not the Bill Gates and the Teslas of the world. They're not those kind of mindsets. Because people that are extremely smart tend to overcomplicate things, and they just have it in their mind that the markets have to be difficult, right? They think you're going to need all these different indicators and all these different things, and there's a lot of mathematics involved, and they can't wrap their mind around the fact that trading is simple. And I think that's why so many traders fail, because in their mindset, they think the markets are complicated. They think it's hard. And believe it or not, that's the emotional part of trading. The markets are simple. I've been saying it since day one. They can go up, they can go down, and they can go sideways. It's like the Stone Age. It really is, guys. What you have to do is just stare at the charts, see what they do, Where do they come down? Where do they bounce? Why do they come down? Why do they bounce? I could trade these markets with absolutely nothing on my chart, right? I've been putting all these lines here, doing all this stuff for you guys. But when you become an expert trader, you don't need any of this, because you could just see it. You can clearly see what the markets are going to do, where they're going to do it, when they're going to do it. Again, if a price action comes back up and tests an area, and then it comes down and it continues down, that's not an area you want to trade. You never want to trade on a first bounce, because you don't know what that's going to do. You always want to wait for a retest of a particular area, right? Here, could have been an area of support. It could have been another area. I just happened to use the RSI to take my second and third trade on this stock yesterday. So again, guys, you got to keep it simple. You just have to. You have to keep trading simple. Because if you don't, you're going to get caught in the trap that they want you trapped in. Trading is not hard. But what I've noticed, in these times is this is going to be your single best opportunity to trade. But you really want to be careful when you get to a ticker symbol and there's a massive green bar. Remember, I think that's the hedgies and the market makers standing up here dropping a little ball, right? They drop the ball and it bounces, then the news comes out when the ball bounces this high, right? Then what's the ball going to do? It's going to bounce and it's going to lose momentum. And what are they going to do? They're going to take everybody's money that got in up here and up here. And then they're going to take everybody's money who keeps getting in the wrong areas, right? So you just have to look at it for what it is. You have to look at it for what it is, not what you think it is, right? Never trade on emotions. Never trade the highs of anything. Getting in up here is only going to blow up your account, right? That's all that's going to do is blow up your account. So you want to stay away from stuff like that. And you just want to be on your toes, just be on your toes, but be in a relaxed state of mind. Like right now, nothing in this chart is telling me that there's an area to get into, okay? Actually, we have an area right here that we're holding for support like we did in this area, right? So here, this would have been a good area to get in on. Right here on this candle. This one right here. Once this candle broke this, that would have been a nice trade to take again on VTVT. I had already traded it. So right now, if you're looking to get into this, remember the overall trend is down. So you're not going to get a massive move to the upside. You're under the 20. You're under VWAP. And you're headed down. So what you would be looking for right here to take a trade, at this point, this is typical. A bounce after your first high is typical, but it's when it makes a lower high, you know that it's just going to continue down, most likely for the rest of the day, right? Strength is when you could do this and then you make a higher high. We did that with AEI yesterday, I think. No, we didn't. That's why I closed out, that's right. So excuse me on that one. But you're looking for something to make a higher high, not a lower high right off the bat. So again, I mean, if you're going to trade in this area, you're looking for structure. You're looking for something to hold on support and resistance. Right now, we just haven't had that. We had a flat and then an upward trend, but we haven't found a bottom or a structure yet. So it just doesn't interest me right now. There's really nothing there. Here's one that made a higher high, all right? This one jumped up, made a higher high, but now you're on the right side of the roof. And notice how this stock is respecting that line all the way down. And just how many traders, look at these order sizes. I question, why are these people buying in here? That makes no sense, It makes no sense. That's a fail. All right? When you're buying up top in these areas, that is a fail. Right? So every time you see these areas at the top, remember that sound, right? Remember. On which ticker symbol? The RSI, even being under 30 on VTVT. Did you just get in now? In this area? So notice these candles right here. There's a lot of wicks on top from sellers. So even though the RSI is under under the 30, that really doesn't mean anything. You are getting an ascending wedge pattern here, which is good. But again, for me to get in, I would want to see some kind of touch of the previous support and then a pullback, being that, now we've been in play for a little while. But you always want to look at your wicks. What are your wicks telling you? We're in an area of consolidation here, but we're having a hard time breaking through this area. And the wicks are, they're getting longer, or I don't want to say longer, but you're seeing wicks here that you didn't see here, right? So that means that there's a lot of pressure from sellers in this area. So you just want to be careful. And again, you're not going to be looking for a massive breakout on this, especially since we're on a downtrend. So right here, if I draw my line, this right here is the same thing that shorters are looking at. So they're going to attack it even harder once it hits this line, the right side of the roof. All right, so let's draw that right side of the roof so you can see it. All right, this is how shorters are trading. So notice it touches the roof here, touches the roof here, and what happens every time we get close to the roof? It tanks, because all the shorters have these trend lines drawn, right? So that's one of the traps you want to be wary of and be careful of. So let's see what it does. Is it going to respect it and continue to drop? Or are we going to get smoke out of the chimney and then see a continuation of the rise? Same thing here, right? If I draw this line out, the right side of the roof, every time it touched this area, it pulled back, right? Once we broke this area and we saw smoke, I bought in, right? That would be a good trade. So that's what you want to. That's what you're looking for. You want to wait until you break this area right here. Notice every single time we touched it, the algorithm sells off shares, right? Shorters jump in, but again, you're trading against an algorithm, and that's why you can perfectly match up every one of these right side of the roofs, because it's an algorithm that you're trading against. So right here, you'd be wanting to look for a breakout and then a move sideways or up. Just like here, we had a breakout and then we had a move up. So right here again, let me move that. Notice 1, 2, 3 candles hit this line perfectly. So you want to see a breakout here. And your RSI being down so low, you really can't. Now, beautiful breakout. Beautiful breakout. If you're in this, I would be looking to close this right now. Because now you don't know if this is going to hold support. Even though you took out all these shorters, you still have all these shorters here who are going to be adding massive size to keep this stock from going above this line. So that would be your area to close right now, because now you want to wait for confirmation. Okay, we hit it. Are we going to pull back, or are we going to come back again? This is what you're looking for now. You're looking in this area to see what the price action is going to do. Again, you took out all these shorters with that one candle, but you still have all these who are holding. Nice. And remember, the higher the price goes, the more the shorters are going to protect their position, and they're going to add to it. So just remember that. Once you take out these guys, you'll get a pretty nice jump, and possibly you could take out these guys. Because shorters, a lot of them are going to hold their positions because they know that, we're in their favor. The markets are in their favor right now. So I would imagine that probably 50% of the shorters who took a position here are still in this, right? So now we got another green candle. But the thing that I always say is whenever you have big candles coming up to an area of resistance, it's not going to work. It's going to fail. What you want to see is a pullback, and then you want to see small candles coming up to an area of resistance. That's where you're going to get that big, massive green candle to break through it. But when you have big candles coming up to an area of resistance, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work. Okay? So just keep that in the back of your mind. When you see big candles coming up to an area of resistance, it's not going to work. It's not going to hold. VT, 81 million share float. That's not that low. It's not that high. But again, you have a lot of people here protecting their positions. So now you had one breakthrough. Another reason why we never enter on the first candle of a breakout, because it's usually the breakout, fake out. So here you got your second one and your third one. Now let me expand this. Notice each candle got shorter and shorter, right? Even though we have a bearish, our bullish shooting star in a bearish color, each candle got shorter and shorter. Hence, you know, the resistance from it. So what you're looking for now is either a retest or a pullback to this area. So we'll do a pullback to this area or a complete retest of support. Okay? So this is what you're looking for, bouncing around in here. But again, big candles coming up to a support area or resistance area, 9 times out of 10 will not make that breakout. And they trap a lot of people like that, because look how green these candles are. I didn't look at the ticker tape, but you know, people saw this candle and got all excited. And I bet you, I'm not going to bet you, but I'm going to tell you how many people bought it right here because they saw this big green candle, and now the stock is going back down.
Up 1, the Dow futures
and I would imagine,
up 4, NASDAQ up at 1.50.
I'm not going to say I'd imagine, but now let's just draw a new right side of the roof and see if it respects it. Let's pull it down to here. It's already respecting it. 1, 2. Now
Gold
let's
down
see what we do.
27 cents at 72.85. Gold down $8.30 at 17.74.60. Bitcoin futures down 28.85 at 29,675.
Oh man, I missed Alf today. My goodness, how did I miss that? I don't have all my computers up. All right, so let's look at Alf. Let me clear all these drawings. Now again, you don't want to be buying anywhere in this area. Did Alf have news? Undervalued. Yeah, Alf had news, and I didn't even hear it. That stinks. This would have been an unbelievable play. All right, so let's remove these drawings. Oh, yeah, here we go. Now let's go out. Alpha's been in play for a while. All right, so now we're right here. Look at the 20-day.
BEEM Beam Global added to the FTSE Russell.
And this is what you're looking for. All right, here's your 20-day chart. This was a high. We didn't break it. We just broke it now. Even more confirmation that this is going to pull back. All right, so our next area we're looking for is right here, where the tops of these candles are, not the wicks, but the bodies of the candles. So this is where you would be looking for the stock to pull back to. All right, if we come in here, you can see all the resistance on the 5-day chart. All right. Here we got one massive green candle, 2 massive green candles, 3 massive green candles. This is a low float, and it's a name that everybody knows. It's a name that's been in play for a long time. All right, so here is your breakout of the previous, the one that we just went back in time, the previous high, which typically these will not hold. All right, let me see on the regular chart. All right, it's coming up on the regular chart. We got about 2 million people in there trading. And this is why you make these parabolic moves, because there's a lot less traders trading or eyes that are on it, which means a lot less shorters are looking at this. So the more shorters that get their eyes on this, and this is kind of a tweezer top setup, which is going to push this down. So we're going to go ahead and draw another trend line on here to this area right here. Okay, right in the middle, because this is the initial pop-up. Okay, The second candle couldn't break it. Then we traded below it. And then this candle didn't break it. This one did. So this is your area that you're looking for this stock to come back to. And I always like to draw one in the middle of that as well. Because you could potentially just pull back to this one and run up. Or you'll pull back to this one and run up.
Under consideration in Congress, saying they would have dangerous consequences.
Let's sit here and watch this for a minute. And see what we do. I'm going to put regular lines in there so when I delete it, it doesn't take it out. So we're going to put one line here. And then I'm going to put another one at the halfway point. Alright, so these are my target zones where I would enter this. Let me get on the 1 minute for you. Again, we don't enter at the top. Entering at the top. We don't want to do that. But what I am seeing right now, let's see if this holds. Actually, let's go ahead and put the right side of the roof up here. I really want you guys to get used to this. And I'm going to bring it down into my two areas that I drew out here. And for the fun of it, we'll go ahead and draw the other side of the Hobbit house. Now we got our little silly house here. But that's just how silly trading is. Alright, so we got a chimney. Let's see what the next candle does. Again, we have a lot of nice wicks under here, which I like. We'll go ahead and put a line up here as well. Oop, that didn't work. Put a line up here as well. I'm just not looking to get in this area, especially what time is it? We're 9 o'clock. Watch how quickly this moves up. The volume. Again, I'm not somebody that's going to be a buyer in this area, right? I don't care if the stock goes up another $2. That's not how you logically day trade, if you want. I don't know what you want to say, but that's not a smart day trade. That's being a gambler. You want to wait for the charts to tell you what to do, right? Again, all these people got excited. I don't know if any of them sold. A lot of people won't sell until the stock comes all the way down here. You know, they'll hold on to a losing trade, hoping that it's going to go up, and that's not how you trade. So, I really want to hang out here and take a trade on this. And again, you got the chimney, but no smoke. You know, let's see what this does now. But this is exactly why you want to stay away from areas like this. I mean, you just made a massive move up. This stock is not going to make another massive move up without having a pullback. And if we delete everything, and you've been with us a while, you already know that the 200 and the 20 are really far away from each other, right? They want to come back and at least say hello to one another, right? They need a little bit of room to breathe. Your price is really far away from the 20. Not majorly, but again, these are things that we've already taught and that you need to keep in your toolbox. So now we're making another right side of the roof. And sometimes you'll get these where you do have that gap in between them, and then it'll come back down. Now let's see what we're going to do here. Now this would be, if it holds, this is going to be an area of support. Now let's see, are we going to hold here, or are we going to come to this one? I think this one's out of the question now because of where we are, where the price action is. I wouldn't disregard this totally because later on today that'll come back into play. Alright, so now let's take a look at the news. 2 million buyback. This is the area we're watching right here. Okay, I like the wicks on the bottom here. But I want to see a test and then a retest. I want to confirm that we're going to hold this area. Remember, just trading because you see a green candle is the quickest way to blow up your account, especially in an area like this. Notice the volume picking up.
NTEC, Intech Pharma, getting a pop here. November Tango Echo Charlie.
So if we're going to hold this, I want to see something like this or even like this. I want to confirm that we're going to hold this area even if we do something like this.
ATRS and Terry's
making higher highs and higher lows. That's what I want to see. And I want to make sure that we're holding this support area.
ATRS.
But again, the markets that we're in, this might be all we get out of this today. You know, we've just had terrible markets. What we talked about at the beginning of this was us older traders have expectations, right? What we're used to. And right now, we're not seeing anything more than the initial pop and then a drop throughout the day. Right? Now, no matter how much alphas ran in the past, I have to go by what we've been seeing the last few months. I can't go by what we used to see last year. Right? I can't go by that. That's out the window. I mean, here we had alpha go up this day, you know, for the day, which was nice. And then this day. So could we see that today? Yes, absolutely. But I want confirmation. I'm not going to trade this blind, right? I'm not going to just jump in this trade because it's going up. That's one of the worst things you could do. Again, I want to see this take a little breather with the 200, your 20 and your 200. I want to confirm that we're going to hold this area or if we're going to drop back to this area. All right, these are things that you're looking for when you're trading. I know it's so tempting, and that's one of the hardest things people have to get over, is jumping in here. You know, they're like, woohoo, look at this bad boy. And then what happens, you know? That's what happens. I got these cool sound effects. I got a bunch of cool things I'm going to be working on. So again, buying in up there, quickest way to blow up your account. You want patience, you know, you want structure, you want confirmation, you want to make sure we're going to hold this area. So here was our chimney. Now we're starting to see smoke. That's good, right? But again, I just want to see what we're going to do. I would want to see a double confirmation in this area to take a trade.
Announcing phase 2, abivertinib clinical studies.
And we might not get that. We might get this, but that would be too normal. That would be what we would expect to see. But I can't go by what we used to expect to see because we're not seeing that anymore. So now I have to play the rules a different way. I have to play the game a different way. And what I found works in these markets is a retest, a bounce and a retest, and then you could enter. But that's the only thing that I found in the markets that's working right now. So even our RSI here, it's not really showing us anything. It's showing us a downtrend when this is sideways. It's not giving us that uptrend signal. So that's another reason I want to wait for confirmation to see what we're going to do. Got a lot of wicks. We got a red dot here, which means consolidation could be beginning. So we are holding this support area, which is good. But again, I want a touchdown confirmation. I want to make sure this is going to be a key level that we're going to hold. And without that, I just won't trade. And you're not going to make any money here anyway. I mean, you know, this is just trading sideways. So two things going against it. We are above the 20. We are above the VWAP. We are above the 200. Those are all good signs. We are holding here, but we haven't really touched back down for confirmation. Any wicks that come through a support line, wicks are okay. You don't want to see the body close below it. If you see the body of a candle close below a support line, that's not a good sign. That's a sign of weakness.
That's NCBS and ICBK.
But again, our biggest move already happened, right? I haven't seen moves continue like this until afternoon, around after 2 p.m. So if this does not hold up and we continue sideways, I would expect an afternoon rip.
mRNA, Moderna, Michael Romeo November Alpha, Moderna, European.
But let's see what we do. Again, we're holding support. Let's see if we can break through resistance up here, or if we're going to hit it and come back down.
Moderna. That press release now.
And again, just like the one we just talked about, big green candles coming up to a resistance area 9 times out of 10 fail. You want tiny candles coming up to a resistance area. You never want to trade big green candles, even if they break through it. Again, that's a trap. And you're going to get caught in it, and they're going to take your money, and the stock's going to go right back down. Never want to trade big candles coming up to resistance. You want small candles coming up to resistance. So we touched it, and now we're just kind of in the middle. We haven't come back yet and confirmed that we're going to hold. We do have this ascending wedge pattern right here, if you can see that. And this is what it's all about, guys. It's about patience. It's about letting the markets come to you, and that's how you don't get trapped. You want to wait on the markets to come to you. You don't want to get chasing this, because had you bought here, 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 what would you be now? You'd be down, and you'd be hoping that this goes back up the rest of the day. All the while, you're watching it go down. So we had a high here, now we have a lower high. Right? And I could guarantee you they trapped tons of money in this candle. Right? Again, It's an algorithm. It's a casino. That's all the stock market is. If you think it's anything different, you're going to lose everything you have. The stock market is nothing more than a glorified casino run by the elite, and they call it legal. But it's all it is. It's a casino. And you have to know how to play the game. And the game is not that hard to play. They want you to think it is. That's how they take all your money. So, we got this squeeze going on. I gotta finish up the truck today. Got a electronic throttle sensor I gotta put in it. But we got this TTM squeeze going on here. Alright, let's draw this ascending wedge. A lot of times in this area they do not hold. They'll just fall apart as well. But again, this is why, like yesterday with AEI, I am just so shocked. I mean, it's a red chip penny stock company, but to tie the news with Tesla and it not pop like, you would expect, I just don't trust anything in the markets anymore. I had hope for it, but it just didn't pan out. Oh my goodness, I forgot I was in that, what is it? What was that ticker symbol? BIOC. I forgot all about that. I was in that. What is that doing? Ouch. Always remember when you take a trade. That's part of the problem I have with whatchamacallit. That's why I can't trade on my account and teach, because I can't do it. Sometimes I'll take trades while I'm teaching you guys, but I will not teach on my personal account.
Boeing, U.S. opens $500 million victim compensation.
So again, cancer news, right? Tanking. And again, where did this massive green bar come from? Nobody knows, because we got here as soon as he called it out, and this bar was already up here, right? That's the market maker up here dropping that ball.
That's BA Boeing.
Right? Boom, boom, all lose momentum. So here you got a nice bottom, and we have this line drawn out. So this must be an area, that we're looking at from before that we drew out. So this would be an area to possibly take a long position on here. But I just lost $2.75. I'm not going to trade it again. Right now, I'm not really looking to trade too much today anyway, because I got to work on the truck. But I do want to watch Alf today. So, on that trade that I just took is a fail. Right? What I want you guys to do is to get to the point, wow, I feel good, that you're that confident to come to the markets every single day. Right? You don't want to be taking trades up at the top. That's the worst thing you could do. You want to take trades in areas of confluence, or whatever you want to call it. Divergence, support, resistance. So now let's look at the RSI. Still not showing us anything. And honestly, I don't see anything that looks good. Everything's just falling apart like a typical trading day, which is why I would honestly recommend waiting until after hours. Until around 2 p.m. to trade, because after the bell, after this area right here, this time frame, what happens the rest of the day? You get this, pretty much the rest of the day until 2 to 3 p.m. when we start moving up again. This is why most traders don't trade in this time frame. The latest most traders will be here is 10 a.m. And then they'll come back power hour between 2 and 3 p.m. because that's when the trading picks up again. And why is that? Because that's when the traders are coming back again. So, your best times to trade are between either 4 and 7 a.m. or between 8:30 and 10 a.m. Those are your three prime areas of trading. So keep that in the back of your mind. Unless something has some massive news that comes out in the afternoon, you really don't see that great of moves, especially in the season that we're in the summertime. So this is a type of time you just relax, take your time off, go do what you got to do, enjoy the summer, because your trades aren't going to be that great anyway. And the reason that is in the winter everybody's locked in their home again, so they're back at their computers wanting to trade. And you'll see good moves throughout the day. So, like I said, we're just consolidating here. Consolidation, confirmation.
So a total of 9 sales in the U.S. surpassed
volumes increasing. We do have this area, but we haven't come back to touch it yet. So what we should do is put another line here like we did here.
That's AMZN.
And let's see what that's going to do. Let's get our, let's actually put a line in there. And we want to put it at the top of our candles. Alright, so now we have another area. Alright, so this is our resistance area. And we're pulling back. Looks like we're starting to use it as support.
VVPR, Victor Papa Romeo, Vivo Power.
Let's check it out, VTVT.
Announces binding letter of intent for electric vehicle conversion partnership with Toyota Australia. That's Victor Papa Romeo.
Alright, so VTVT broke out here. We traded sideways. And then we shot back down.
DQ, Delta Quebec, Dayco New Energy. Subsidiary.
I wouldn't have gotten in here on this.
With China Securities Regulatory Commission.
I mean, we just, we came back down to this line. We have a chimney, like we did here. This chimney just traded sideways and fell. So this chimney could do the same thing, right? Again, what you want to look for, all right, we don't have anywhere, we're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, our old resistance areas are all the way down here. So right here, we're kind of out in the middle of no man's land, but this is where we would put our halfway point. So let's see if we do get a bounce here to the upside on it. What was this? Oh, yeah, this was cancer treatment again. Great news. But, I mean, the overall trend is just down. So I would have waited for, a little bit more confirmation, either a retest here and then that bounce.
AMZN, Amazon, on first day of Prime Day, large retailers saw a 28% increase in online sales. Smaller retailers saw 22% lift in e-commerce revenue. That's AMZN, Amazon. H&R Block, HRB, filing for mixed shelf size not disclosed. That's Hotel Romeo Bravo.
So again, just like before, I would be looking to exit the trade right here. What time is it? 9:16. Sometimes these things will continue up till the bell, but I'd rather be safe than sorry if you got in. Nice trade. It's kind of a bouncy bounce, but it's not. Yeah, good job. Good job. So, if you're looking at your right side of the roof, you do have smoke. It is starting to go up, but again, the time, it's not showing on here, but you guys know what time it is. I would be very hesitant to take a trade in that area right now. And now we got a double top if that candle closes there, which will suggest a pullback. But again, the overall trend on it now is just down. And I don't want to be calling out things here that just don't happen anymore. All right, so now on ALF, we finally have an area back to this level. So, now do we hold it or do we break it? My TV's messing up. If we got tweezer bottoms here, I'll take a position. Let's see what the candle closes at. You know what? We're still in this consolidation, but if we got tweezer bottoms, I'll take 5 shares. Want to see what the candle closes at. The tweezer bottoms are beautiful. Love tweezer bottoms. It's really not a perfect tweezer bottom. Alright, I just bought 5 shares of it. And as long as we don't come back past here, I'll hold it through the bell. It's only 5 shares. It's not going to kill the account, but I'm not going to lose more than 1 bar. But the tweezer bottoms, I like playing tweezer bottoms. And it happened in a good area. We had that confirmation that we're holding support here.
6% versus 2019, that's RUTH. Says on June 7th, the company made a $35 million debt repayment. That's Romeo Uniform Tango Hotel, Ruth's Hospitality, RUTH.
I don't know why one of my screens keeps flashing. Very odd. Let me pull, get VTVT here on my other monitor. We're definitely going to see a move at the bell, that's for sure. We got a lot of consolidation going on here. The red dots are indicating we're going to see a pretty good size move, a squeeze. But will it be to the upside or the downside? That's what nobody knows. But again, we got tweezer bottoms. We have an area that I like. We tested this support level. So this is why I took the trade right here. Again, I don't really like getting in when we have such tight consolidation like we're seeing here, because I don't mind getting in this right now because I know at the bell, just like you guys know, we're going to see a massive move to the upside or the downside. But during the day, you know, you want to stay away from this stuff because you'll sit in these trades for hours on end and you'll be watching and staring and watching. What you're looking for in the afternoons is when the price will do this and consolidate, remember, and then you're looking to enter in the area when it's coming back up to this area, right? Don't get in on those big green candles going up, but this is where you see those explosive moves because you're taking out all the shorters to the left. So that's my favorite pattern that I look for during the afternoon when I come back around 2 o'clock. I'll even start looking for those setups around 1 o'clock because you'll see that the price action will just do this all afternoon, right? And then you come back later in the day and we're starting to creep up. And that's what causes those explosive moves. And I don't have to sit there for 5 hours through all the garbage. So I like that we're seeing the smoke. What I really like, honestly, is the volume on this. You know, if I change this to the pre-market scanner instead of the pre-market gap up, notice the volume on TRCH, GRUB, Wish, VT, VT. Alpha's down here, and this is a good area to be. Typically, these are going to get shorted real hard at the open. The more people, the more it's going to get shorted. So, I kind of have a little bit of faith in this at the opening bell. And again, I'm doing something that I don't normally do, which is hold the position through the bell, but 5 shares isn't going to blow up my account. All right. We're almost to the bell. Woohoo! I feel good. I won't feel good when I'm done with my truck. That's for sure. Ooh, although it's not that hard to get to that port. Ugh. But again, our overall trend here is down, which I'm not liking. We are above the 20 though, or the VWAP. We're kind of hovering at the 20. Again, we're going to see an explosive move. TTM squeeze is already lining up to the downside, not a good sign. But with that said, what happens every day? If we get that initial dip, we get the rip, right? And if we get the initial pop, we get the drop. So trading the open, I mean, I know I say I don't trade the open. If I do, I'm waiting for the first candle to completely form and close. If it's green, I want to see no wick. I don't want to see any wick at all. Then I'll take a trade to the upside. And if it's red, obviously, you're not going to trade it. But too many traders, the candle will open green and they'll all pile in. And what happens? Boom! You'll get a massive candle to the downside. It took like 45 minutes for the price to get from here to here. And at the bell, 1 minute candle will bring you all the way down and knock out $3 worth of profit. And again, why does that happen? Because they want to get as much money in their pocket as they can. So if you're going to trade the open, at least a bare minimum, wait for that first candle to close. And you want it completely green with no wick at the top. You want 0 wick. Or a very, very tiny, tiny wick. But wait for that first candle to close. I personally like to wait 5 minutes, because when you get that initial 5-minute drop, I love getting in on the bottom because you're guaranteed to pop. And if you get that initial pop and you're shorting, that's your enter to drop. So I call this the rip and dip or the pop and drop. Every stock does it at the open. So again, notice we never got stopped out here with our tweezer bottoms. We're only up 50 cents, but I'm not going to add at the bell. We'll see what that first 1 minute candle does. And with a stock like ALF, we may even get halted on it at the bell. I mean, if we make a $2 move, or is it $1.50, I think they start halting. But we might see a halt right into the open. And the way to get out of a halt, guys, if you're in a position, right? Let's say, somebody asked me about this the other day. All right? So let's say this went and sprung up to $11, got halted at $11.18, right? And you're scared because a lot of times when it comes out of a halt, you know, the next one will shoot right back down and it stops you out. So what you do is you use your price ladder here, right? So if you're in a halt at $11.18, scroll all the way up, and then $11.18, right? Put your sell order in, put it in for $11, all right? $11.01. Now look at my position. Now, if this goes to $11.01, it's going to close it out for me, all right? So what you're doing by that is you're giving yourself plenty of room so that if this is at $11.11 and it comes off that halt, the system's going to pick up your sell limit. Now, if you put it like 2 or 3 cents under it, it's not going to bump you out. You know, the further away you get from it, the better off you're going to be. So maybe 10, 20 cents, you know, using this price ladder. And the good thing about that is if it goes up, you don't get stopped out. You know, a lot of times it'll go 3 or 4 bars on a halt. You'll get one halt bar, then it'll open, you'll get a second halt bar. So I love getting in halts. I know so many traders are afraid of them. I don't know why, but this is how I get out if it goes south. You know, if you're in a halt, you're already in the green. So there's no need to be scared not to get out. Just put your sell limit 10, 20 cents below where the price is. And if it goes down, it's going to trigger because you're so far away from the price that it's currently at. So, yeah, I'm glad we brought that up here. We talked about the halt. So, cool deal. Woo! Can you guys hear those sound effects? I want to change this up a little bit. I got a bunch of cool things going on just to make it a little more relaxing for you and take some of the pressure off of, you know, what people make trading out to be. So remember, we don't want to see a fake out. We want to see a candle close completely green on the 1 minute. Because all too often, this is what will happen. Let me change my thing today.
SHSP, Clear Lake Capital and Cirrus back constant contact.
Now you see how many people probably got caught up in here? I'm going to close that position out. But this is how they take your money.
$240 million, $17.10 per share.
Again, we just made a new high, right? We just broke resistance again. The markets that we're in, you know, these are going to be your best moves.
Eastern time, SHSP.
So your first candle didn't close completely green, so I personally wouldn't get in this. Because this candle didn't close green, solid green. We have too much pressure from sellers. And what happens is this is how they trap you, right? And then what'll happen from here, the rest of the day, it'll go down. And people are going to hope it's going to go back up. But without a solid green candle on that first minute, I won't get in. We'll wait for the pop and drop. And then look for another entry. I'm going to flip through a couple of these here real quick. Everything's tanking at the open. VT didn't hold up either. So, let's get to the percent change gainer. See what we got here. Let's look at VT. Didn't hold up. Did the same thing. Went up, went sideways. So now that you're getting out here, you know, you got your dip and rip. I'll wait a few more minutes on that one. Why is Alf not even on the scanner here? That's odd. So let's go back to Alf. See what we're doing.
KODK, Kilo Oscar Delta Kilo, Eastman Kodak, awarded U.S. patent, photosensitive compositions containing silver, ion, A-oxycarboxylate, oxline complexes. That's KODK, Kilo Oscar Delta Kilo.
You know, guys, this is one of the reasons that Ross gets trapped so often. I tell you, I like to watch a lot of people's videos. I love the markets. I love seeing what people are doing. But this is how he gets trapped. He'll get in right on this candle here, and then it'll pull back, and then I've seen him add here at the open and to a losing trade. Again, Alf is one of those names that everybody knows. Everybody knows Alf has been a previous runner, but I just don't trust the markets enough to really play with this right now in this area. So closing it out here with 5 shares. I mean, we're bouncing around here within $1 range, but me personally, I'd rather play it safe than sorry. Let the first 5-10 minutes, let the market do what it's going to do, and then let's find our areas of support and structure again. Let's find support and resistance. I mean, right now, this thing is just in a tug of war. But this is how a lot of traders get trapped. They get into these positions up here at the top, not wanting to wait, and then they just get trapped in it, What do we got? NTech here. What is this? NTech have news today too? Another low float ticker symbol. Now VT is doing good. But again, with this massive downtrend here, I wouldn't trust getting into this position. I mean, it's fallen apart all morning, right? Here was a double bottom candlestick, right? See that crystal clear double bottom candlestick? That would have been a decent place to enter. But now that we're here at, previous support, let's see if this is going to hold resistance here. I'm going to watch it on another one. I just really want to see what Alf does today. Yeah, it's struggling to get past here. But again, I mean, in the past few days, what is it, the last 10 days? It has made higher highs throughout the day. This one it made at the open, it dropped, bumped up.
The Wall Street Journal.
Actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it,
the company was exploring a sale. That's SAFM, Sandy Alpha.
It hasn't. Look at, you got your first couple of minutes of trading, and then it tanks all day. Your first couple of minutes of trading, then it tanks all day. Here you have your afternoon 2 o'clock area where it popped, right? So that's what I would be looking for on ALF today. I'm glad I opened that up. But you guys see that? You have your pre-market run up and then your drop. And then your after hours pop. Right? Pre-market run up and then your drop. This one didn't come back up the next day. Pre-market run up, drop. Afternoon pop. Right? Pre-market run up, drop. So today could be the pre-market run up, drop, afternoon pop.
Alma shares getting a pop here. Sandy Tango, Sandy Alpha, STSA.
But look at how it never holds past the open. And look at this. Look at how much it's struggling.
With a $15 price target.
So this is why I really don't like trading this in this area. It held up all morning, so now it's time for it to cool off. I would definitely watch this towards the afternoon. I'll be back by then. I think I might start going live twice a day, once in the afternoon also for Power Hour. STSA picking up a little bit. Let's again look at VTVT, see what that's doing. Yeah, now you see how VTVT respected this line. So your good trade would have been on this double bottom right here. But now you'd be looking, this would be another area.
Williams says he's looking for chief
of support where you'd be looking to take a long on it. So let's just go look at Alf, right?
Bloomberg TV says Fed is not following a mechanical formula and making monetary policy.
I got in with 5 shares of Alf.
and taking into account uncertainty
in this
about the
area right
economy.
here where we had tweezer bottoms. But what did I do? I waited for this bounce and retest, right? So had I gotten in with 5, or let's just say I had 1,000 shares here, right? We sold in this area right here. So 920, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. That'd be $600 just by being patient and waiting for the stock to do what it's going to do, right? If I got in anywhere else other than that, my profit would have been limited other than getting in down here in this area. Had I bought in here, I would have been, I would have broke even, right? Had I bought in here, we didn't make that big of a move, and now we're coming back down. So do you see, after the initial pop, we bought in at the most profitable area you could buy into this position. And that's what you're looking for, right? I didn't buy in here when we saw these candles going green up here, right? Because we know better. And I want you guys to know the same thing. I want you to take your trades and be confident in your trade and get in an area where you're going to make your most money, right? Even on this one here now, I would wait. All right, we failed this area. We broke right through this area of support. We're back down to our pre-market area of support. So just like I said before, it's been a run up and then a drop until the afternoon, and then we'll see that pop. No, I don't really play with AMC. I took a couple of trades on it. I made good money on it, but I tried telling them yesterday that it was breaking the wedge to the downside, and they laughed at me again. So let's look at AMC, and I'll show you how you could trade AMC if you're trading it. Why these guys hold on to AMC is beyond me. How much money they could have made if they knew how to actually day trade and get in and out of it. I mean, they could have tenfolded their accounts rather than just hold. But so let's go to AMC. All right, let's clear up the chart and do some technical analysis on AMC. And I'll show you how I do it. So you're going to know exactly what I do. Come in here. Let's go to the 180-day chart. All right. Let's open this area up. Right here, we have a massive area of resistance. Right. Right down here, we have support. And our next area of support would be right here. So now we have 3 major areas. Okay. Now, let's go to our 20-day chart. Those areas still line up really nice. Now, let's do an ascending wedge. All right, because what do we see? We see the chart here going, oh, one of the guys, I sent him a 5-day 5 chart, and he's like, oh, you gotta blow up the chart more than 5 days. So I did it, right? And I went out here just like I'm doing here. And see where the price was yesterday? I went back and I laughed. I said, man, that looks even better for put options. I just like messing with them. I try and invite everybody to the group so they could learn. But look at this ascending line. And now we broke out of this wedge to the downside, right? But where are we coming up right now? We're coming up to an area of support. But there's just so much manipulation and garbage. Like I said before, guys, I don't think that they're going to let what happened with GameStop happen again. They're just toying with these people. Everything is manipulated and all that other junk.
SRNE, Sorrento Therapeutics, granted U.S. patent, receptacle portion of trans.
My goodness, I'm looking here. I got it. Hang on.
And methods.
I got into Atos today, too. I took 5 shares. I forgot about it. Let me just sell that. I made 51 cents on that. I'm terrible at doing that because I just love practicing on the small account with this for you guys. But like I said, let's get back to AMC. So here you clearly see on AMC, you have your wedge here. We broke out to the downside of this wedge pattern, right? now that we've been in it so long and, you know, watching all the hype on it and stuff, even, you know, all of those, you can make money on them. Just do the technical analysis like we're doing here. You know, Wish here, this was resistance, an area of resistance. And we'll go into the lower time frames, but so let's just start right in this area. So I would use this as, you know, we blew right through this. So I'm going to put one there, one here, and then one up here at the top. And then let's go into the 1 day. So now we have our lines. Now we're going to put another line here, right in this area, because we've kind of used this as support and resistance. All right, so now we got our 3 lines drawn. Let's put another one right here. And then let me get this out. Now let's blow it up. All right, so these lines that are up here are from days ago. And this is just, again, the social media hype. As you can see here, I wouldn't trade this because we already made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green bars. And we hit this 3 times with no luck breaking through it. This is a resistance area. So what I'm looking for now, I do like that our 20, our 200, and our VWAP crossed here. This is what I call the Goldilocks zone. This is the area that I like to see. Let me back out, see what we did yesterday on it. Yesterday we made higher highs all day. Let me go to the 5-day real quick. Because for every couple of days that a stock goes up, it's going to want to cool off and come back. So don't take the bait. Right? You don't want to be the fish that always gets caught. So in order to trade this, again, I'm just going to do
AMC,
the simple thing.
Shares off the lows now, 52,
all right, I'm going to put a line here
36,
down to, I'm going to go to the second support area, and then I'm going to put one here like this. Okay, this is a good right side of the roof. And now let's just see what the price does. What are we looking for again? We're looking for it to hold the previous resistance with a bounce, right? So you're looking to enter if we hold support. And then what do I tell you guys here today? Draw an extra line in between, because sometimes we won't come all the way back to this area of resistance.
JAN, Jan 1, Juliet Alpha November, Jan 1 selects regulatory partner for Phase 2B trial.
So we have a double bottom here, but again, we're not in the right location, and we don't have enough information.
Shares of Jan 1 spiking.
Our RSI is facing down, the price is facing down.
About 15%.
Are we going to keep hitting this like we always see? I would imagine so. Let me go ahead and draw that middle line in to see if we're going to hold that so it doesn't erase when I go back. So we're going to put this area. Oh, come on, Nancy.
Jan 1 halted now on a circuit breaker, JAN.
JAN has ran previously. So again, notice the right side of the roof, we're not breaking it. Right? This is why you guys want to wait. You want to be patient. You want to let the markets come to you. You don't want to get caught up in these markets. Remember, buying at the top is not good. Now Alf broke through all. 1, 2, we're back down here at the bottom. So now we have a different area. I don't know where this line came from. Probably just one of those draw-in lines. But again, now we have confirmation that we're holding support in this area right now. So our old resistance area is our resistance area again. So, since I didn't get this trade, which was a good one, double bottom, 2 candles, double bottoms, where the candles are the same size, doesn't matter about the wicks. So that's 2 good pieces of information on Alf. And drum roll, please. What else do we have on Alf? The RSI made a higher high while the price action remained the same. Confirmation that was a good entry. So 1,000 shares here, $400 you could have made just on that 40-cent move. And still going. But I would be closing it out in this area. So I would have took that money and ran. But let's see what the RSI tells you, because again, it'll tell you when to get out. But with the markets the way they are, right? Nothing's holding. Where you get in, get out, right? I mean, from 90 cents to $400 on 1,000 shares. That's a good profit, right? And you could scalp these all day like this. We had the RSI. We had 2 double bottom candles, right? We had our confirmation that we're holding this area of support. Now, will it keep holding? I don't know. You'll just have to watch and see.
Moving higher on.
But this is what you're looking for. This is how you're going to play the game. Just like here, we didn't get in any of these. We didn't buy this fake out right here. You know, once you understand this and you get the hang of it, you're going to see it just like I do, right? Tweezer bottoms in an area that we know is confirmation now, right? No bodies of the candles came through this line, right? Only the wicks did. So we entered, right? And then we sold in this area. Same thing here. No bodies of the candles came through that area. Not even the wicks. But we went up and we retested it. And then we had this double bottom. Boom, buy. Perfect area to buy. So now have we moved up? Will this become the new area of support? Or the right side of the roof, right? This right side of the roof. Also, we broke out, we had the chimney, then smoke. So all these things, guys, I'm going to be talking about it day in and day out. Repetitive. Repetitive, over and over and over again.
Jan 1, JAN, Juliet Alpha November.
Until you get it, because this is how you're going to make your money. I mean, it's just that easy. You don't have to worry about, getting in at the wrong spot. How many people here, I guarantee you, are still in this down here, right? $1.20, they're down. Because they're hoping this is Alf, it's going to go up all day. Yeah, that doesn't work anymore. Used to, but not anymore. Now you're looking for sniper entries, right? You're looking to be smarter than the market. You want to go with the flow. You don't want to get caught up in these areas. I mean, it's the worst possible thing you can do. So now we're holding here, right? Notice we bounced here, And then we went up, and then we bounced here. Just like I said, is this going to be the new area of support? So let's wait and see if we do hold that area. Right? So good. This good entry. If anybody got it, I doubt it because we got here kind of after it formed or as it was forming, I think. So let's look at Wish again for you guys. All right, on Wish, we broke out. Could not hold this level. Coming back down again on the right side of the roof. So even on this trade, I wouldn't have traded this right here. I would not have gotten in this trade because, you know, this was our first test of support and back up to resistance. So you never want to get in on that initial what am I talking about? Give me a second. Yes, okay, never mind. So you never want to get in on that initial pullback. You want to make sure you're going to hold an area, right? Just like we did on all the other ones. We want to make sure that we're going to have an area of support or resistance and that we're going to hold
Sandy
it.
Hotel Sandy Papa. Sharp Spring.
So this is where I would have been looking to enter, but obviously we didn't hold it.
On SHSP.
You don't want to get faked out.
Company being acquired for $17.10 per share. Now it's $17.15.
VT, same thing. I mean, it's not giving you, even with the news, it's not giving you any entries. I mean, it's giving you entries.
Announcing encouraging interim results from pivotal phase 2 clinical trial of Pamidalimab.
But this was the only one that would have been a decent trade.
Presented at.
And I don't see anything else you're saying it.
That's Alpha Delta Charlie Tango.
You won
ABCT.
back in the game? What's up with this?
Coming up at 10 or just before 10, the Richmond Manufacturing Index for June, expecting 18. And then, previous was 18. Existing home sales, 5.72 million.
Why does this thing like have a mind of its own?
That's coming up at
Your RSI made a higher high.
a.m. Eastern Time.
Price action stayed the same. This would have been a good entry area right here. But you guys got any questions? I'm going to head out. My part is going to be at AutoZone at 10 a.m.
Plans to enter genetic testing.
So I'm going to get out of here for the day.
Patent for genetic diagnostic test. That's Alpha Delta.
But if you guys got any questions, real quick. If not, have a great day trading. And I will see you guys later today. ATOS is holding up really well, man. You're welcome, brother. Have a good one. Get out of here. Close it down. Come back to trade later.